Palmistry reading of a male whose age is 33 years old. We are reading his particular hand, and I will try to point out the important aspects that I see on his palm. The main questions everybody has is regarding money, possessions, wealth, and family life and health. These are the main questions. I was told by this particular person that he suffered few losses, and now he wants to go abroad as well. So these are the main questions that we would be talking about in this particular palmistry video. See, when I look at this particular hand, the good aspects that I see on the best possible aspects that I see on his particular palm is this particular area. This particular area is the area of Mount of Mercury. Mount of Mercury is the area for intelligence. It is the area for your calculations and your communication. So whenever this area is good, when we say good, it has got positive signs on it, the chances of making mistakes decreases. Okay, now he himself has basically said that he has suffered few losses and all, few problems. But when I look at his hand, the quality of the lines that are there, these perpendicular lines that we are talking about, these are excellent, super excellent lines that the person has. Now, it doesn't mean that even after having super good lines, the person would never have losses in their life. The person can have losses, but the probability of making losses is very, very low. And if the lines on the Mount of Mercury are good that we see out here, these perpendicular lines that are there, which are deep and clear, are indicative of very good sign that we see on the area of Mount of Mercury. These are indicative of a person is trying to master their skills on a daily basis, and he is a master of whatever he has been doing. So it is not necessary to have multiple lines out here. You will notice 3 or 4 lines out here. It is not mandatory that even only when you have these 5-6 lines you would be successful. Even one line, having one line is also good, and even having multiple lines can be considered to be a good sign. There's only one condition to it, that there should not be horizontal type of lines out here, horizontal and crisscrossing lines out here. If there were crisscrossing lines, horizontal lines, then it would indicate major losses due to bad calculations and bad communication. So so that's the reason why I would say that it is the best possible sign that I see on this particular hand. Now, when we look at the other aspects, we look at the headline and we look at the line of money. So this is the line that we are referring to. The intersection out here is age 35. This is the point where age 35 is indicated on the line of head as well as line of money. So this portion of money line is before the age of 35. This portion of money line, fate line, Saturn line, whatever you may call, this is after the age of 35. This portion of the headline is before the age of 35, and this portion is after the age of 35. So you would notice, just remember one thing, because there may be some confusion because I've indicated many things. So this, just remember this point to be the age 35. So at this particular point, you would notice that there is a line originating on the Mount of Mars negative. This is just a name. Mars negative is the area of anger, aggression, and fire. So imagine a situation, a line that is horizontal looking and touching the money and the headline is something like a fire gun. Fire gun is aimed at your head, because this is the headline, aimed at your money line. So the problem may arise out here somewhere close to the age of 35. That's the age when major problems may come about in this particular person's life. This is one way of looking at it. But if this is point age 35 on the line of head and money, so this particular point is likely to be somewhere close to the age the person is traveling in. The person mentioned his age to be 33 3 years old plus 7 months. So this is the point where another line is kind of coming and touching the line of head. So when a line pointing from the area of Mars negative, it need not originate here and touch the headline. It just needs to point. Even if it points towards the a particular mount and touches the headline, it gets that particular quality. So what it basically means is anger. This is the area for anger. So anger is entering the mind, touching the mind. So when anger is entering the mind, the chances of taking wrong decisions increases, because when we are angry, we make major blunders in our lives. So try to reduce anger and aggression. That would help you a lot. Although just by looking at one sign, we can't say everything is going to go bad, because the quality of the Mercury line is good. You always have to remember the positives as well as negatives that a person may have on their palm. Now we look at the other sign. This is the problem area where a problem line comes and touches. Although this may seem to be a negative sign, but if you notice on the headline, this is the headline, it appears that there's an upward moving line pointing towards the Mount of Mercury on the headline. So upward movement of the headline is always considered to be good. If there was a downward moving small line from the headline pointing towards the area of a moon, that would mean mental disappointment. But it's the opposite out here. So this upward movement is considered to be a good sign, because it uplifts the mind, and upliftment of the mind happens when some positive things are happening in your life. So this is the best possible line that the person may face few problems, but at the same time few good things are also going to happen at the same age, at the age of 35. Now when we look at the money aspect on any particular person's palm, the people generally think that money line would be telling regarding the money. I normally tell people that each and every line can be associated on your palm with money. Even your heart line can be associated with money. So don't think that only money line is money. So each and every line in your palm is basically we can associate with money. So the thing out here is that the first thing is that heart line is kind of ending close to the area of Mount of Saturn. Saturn represents money, possessions, wealth, wisdom, and responsibility. So this person whose hand we are reading, he is likely to be responsible. He is likely to be able to manage money very well. He is grounded. He knows the ground situations very well. He values money. He respects money. So people, and he prays for money. So all these things are likely to bring him more money in their life. See, you have to have a desire to make money. Only when you have a desire to make money, only then you can make more money in your life. If we look at the hands of people in service or business who are making good amount of money, you would notice that people who have their heartline end or under the Mount of Saturn or towards out here, both these things are good indicative of money, possessions, wealth. So these people are likely to accumulate wealth. See, Saturn is all about accumulation. So heartline ending on the Mount of Saturn means the heart is targeting towards Saturn. So heart targeting towards Saturn basically means heart targeting towards money. So this is a beautiful sign to have. So people who businessmen or people who have this kind of indication, they always have money in reserve. He is facing trouble times, but even then he would have something in reserve compared to a person who had a long heart line. A long heart line reaching the Jupiter is not a negative, is considered to be a negative sign, in my opinion, for money matters. Although even a long heart line, people can be rich, but the probability of a person who has the heart line end out here is likely to be more compared if it ends on the Mount of Saturn. See, there are few exceptions like Baba Ramdev and Sergey Brin, the Google founder. They have a long heartline and yet they are rich. So those are few exceptions, but mostly this is considered to be a good sign. Now the quality of the heartline also matters. The quality of the heartline, how we see it, if we find that the line is very simple looking, Simple looking means without any breaks, without any island like formations, and a consistent simple kind of a line. It means that the person is able to dedicate their life to one and only one thing. So people who are able to dedicate their life to one and only one thing, they are likely to be more successful, because these people are highly focused and they practice detachment. See, people who do have these too many branches over the heartline, many branches, those are the person who are flirtatious. Now we don't see those kind of lines out here. One or two lines you do see, these are one or two branches on the heartline, but they are not of very great strength. So that is the reason why we would not basically like kind of look at these particular lines in like we won't value these lines too much, because if they were very long branches over the heartline, then we would have said really negative. Now you would also notice there is a loop-like formation out here. There's a loop-like formation skin pattern. We are talking about the skin pattern, not the lines. So I won't be talking about these two skin pattern, but I would just be talking about this skin pattern out here. So a skin pattern, something like this, we name it as a loop. And if you search internet, you would find that this thing is known as a Raja loop. Raja basically means king. And people who have this kind of a formation between the first finger, the finger of Jupiter, and the Saturn finger, is likely to be at a high position and also make more money. The internet, if you read the articles, they would mention people who have this Raja loop, they are likely to be born in a family who has been at a very, very powerful position near to ministers, or those kind of things are mentioned. But I normally say, because I find this particular sign on this particular palm, so I would give my opinion to this particular person, and these qualities apply to this particular person only, not necessarily their family as well. So loop is something like a loop-like formation is something like connecting both planets together. If we ask a question like something like who would be a good king, who would be able to rule for a long period of time, the answer is going to be they should have two qualities. The first quality should be administration. This is the area for administration. Jupiter is the area for administration, political understanding, and the understanding of religion. And this is basically the area for money, possessions, wealth, wisdom, responsibility. So if you combine both these qualities, so a Raja that has got both qualities is likely to be more successful. Now, I would just point out one more thing and end the video out here. The person had asked me that he wants to go abroad or something like this. So for going abroad, there's one line most palmists talk about. If the money line originates on the area of Mount of Moon, this is where the money line is originating, the chances of the person going abroad or having good associations from abroad or benefits coming to this particular person from females, trading activity, or service industry basically increases. And it is considered to be a good sign for, or also public appreciation or trading activity. So this kind of a formation originating on the Mount of Moon is considered to be good for moving abroad or working abroad or having associations abroad or getting benefits from foreigners, or these kind of things basically apply. Briefly, one more things I'll just add. You notice that the heart line is broken. A small break is out here. It's a very, very small break. So break in the earlier portion. So sometimes it could mean an abrupt ending in a relationship or a partnership, something like this. Just briefly, I will take a look at the left hand. One or two things I will just add out here. See, left hand, right hand, both are similar in most people's cases. Good type of lines on the Mount of Mercury, same indication, I won't repeat it. The heart line is similar kind. Yes, it does have got one or two strong branches, so strong distraction. So that is a little bit negative. Money line originating on the Mount of Moon, the same indication, I won't repeat it. There's a problem line coming from the area for Mars, and there's an upward motion of the upward branch on the headline. So again, this is called a good indication. I've already elaborated, so I won't repeat it once more. So in all, there are lots of similarities. And one more thing out here is that if we look closely on the Jupiter mount, the first finger. Now the first finger, this is called a mount, but mount is also governed by the pattern of skin pattern that the person may have. Notice a skin pattern out here. This is the Saturn mount. This is called the triradii. Now, in this particular case, what we are finding is that the triradii is something like out here. So the triradii is more towards the edge of the palm out here. This is more towards the edge of the palm. I found this to be a very, very good indication for people reaching to a high position in their life. So the reason normally I give for the triradii near to the side of the palm is that the Jupiter qualities become independent from the Saturn qualities. So that's the reason why I consider it to be a good sign to have. And I would just end my video out here. Before ending my video, I normally repeat a few things that I repeat in almost all my videos. Just take a look at this slideshow, which is very, very important. We can come to know about money from almost all aspects of our hand. It can be our heart line, headline, lifeline, sunline, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other planet. So it need not be that money line is to be given too much of importance. The importance of money line is just 15% as to how much money we would be able to make in our life. A saint once said, you don't need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you're doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. That's what matters the most. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care. Do press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. And these are the phone number and the email mentioned out there. Bye. Take care.